Okay, hello everyone. So before starting today, let me just give you a recap of the yesterday session, what we have done yesterday. So yesterday we just talk about how would be the training sessions and what are the journeys for these 15 or 16 weeks, what we're going to learn, what are the different technologies and the skills in terms of software testing, in terms of manual testing, automation testings, some part of DevOps sites. Okay, so I'm just doing one quick recap of the yesterday session. So basically, this journey is divides into four phases: phase one, phase two, phase three, phase four. I hope everyone is able to see my screen. In the phase one, we have the 4 weeks of program where we start from the manual testing. It's basic of testing, like how we can write the test scenarios, how we go through the requirements, how we write the test cases, how we execute those test cases, what are the points we need to consider so that we can write the test cases very effectively and efficiency, and how we can execute, how we can look for the defects as well. Okay, apart from that, we will see the process as well. Like when we perform manual testing for a particular product, there are different process or different approaches which we follow, like waterfall model, agile model, iterative models. So there are different type of models, V models. So we see those kind of things. Along with that, we will see the types of testing as well. So like developer, there are different persons in a team, like the developers, the testers, BA. Okay, and stakeholders. All these participants can also do the testing, and there are different type of testing they do. Like developers do the unit testing, and then software tester do the integration testing. So we will see all these things at a deeper level. Once we progress in the class, in the phase two, we will focus on the different type of applications: front-end applications, back-end applications. What is front-end applications, back-end applications, how they work. We understand their architectures, like the client server architectures, how this front-end application works, how back-end application works. Once we understand those architectures, then we will move on to the automation part. So whatever testing we are doing manually, when I say manually, like it is done by human. Okay, now when we go for the automation, it means it's not done by a human, it's done by the machine. So we write the programs, we write some piece of code. With the help of that piece of code, that action will be performed. So we will see the automation testing with the help of Selenium. Selenium is an automation tool, and that is integrated with different kind of programming language. But for this session, we will focus on the Java programming language, because we will see the Selenium with Java automation tool. So we will learn the Java as well, the core of Java. When I say the core of Java, it means like the OOPS concepts, object oriented programming. I will tell you what is the importance of OOPS and how it is different from the other programming language. Then after Selenium, we will move on to the DevOps sides. So DevOps is a very important part when we talk about the testing, because right now the IT industry is moving from testing to the DevOps. Okay, so in the DevOps we will cover different tools, like we will use GitHub. So GitHub is nothing but it's act as a repository where, like, you are writing the automation scripts, but you need to store them. Either you can store those automation scripts in the local system, or you can store them in a shared workspace, or you can store them in the cloud. Okay, so basically GitHub is nothing but it's a repository. Okay, and it's on the cloud, so everyone can access it and everyone can work on it. Then we will talk about the Jenkins, which is nothing but it's a CI server. So Jenkins, let's say you have written your automation scripts, now you need to run it. So there are two ways. Okay, first, a human can trigger the automation scripts, or if not, then a machine can trigger the automation scripts. So whenever you want that a machine or some piece of code or some automation or some tools, you know, to run your automation scripts automatically, so for that we will use CI servers. And for CI servers, so there are different type of CI servers. There are Bamboo, Jenkins, but we will focus on Jenkins because right now Jenkins is trending in the market. Okay. So if you ask me the examples of different CI servers, we have Jenkins, we have Bamboo, we have Azure Pipeline. Okay. So these are some important CI servers. Then we will move on to the phase 3. In the phase 3, we will start the API testing. So basically in the phase 2, we'll focus on the testing of the front-end applications. Now in the phase 3, we will focus on the testing of the back-end applications. So back-end application does not have UI. When I say UI, it means user interface. Like, if I say log into your Facebook application, so you open that Facebook application, you enter the email ID, enter the password, so you can see those objects on your screen, right? That is called UI. Whatever user can see, that is called UI. Whatever user cannot see, that is not UI. Okay, so backend application does not have UI. Okay, so in that case, API testing comes in the picture. We will see how we can test the API test, how we can test the backend application with the help of API testing. Now there are two parts of API testing. One is you can do it manually with the help of Postman or Swagger. Okay. Secondly, automation that you can do with the help of REST assured framework or Karate framework. So there are multiple ways. In this session, we'll focus for manual API testing. We will focus on the Postman. For automation API testing, we'll focus on the REST assured. Okay. So these are the two important parts. And API testing is also very vast. We have different status code, different responses, how we get the responses and all. Okay, so we will see all those things when we reach to our phase 3 journey for API testing. Now phase 4 is very important. It is the last phase of our training session, and we will cover the important topics or the good practices which we follow in the IT industry. Let's say how we can manage our test data. So there are different ways to manage your test data in the testing, because in software testing, test data is very important part. If you do not have the test data, okay, you cannot do the testing. Now what is test data? Data that you need to test your application. If I ask you to testing the login functionality of Facebook, just check whether you can log in or not. So what do you need? You need an email ID, you need a password, right? So this email ID and password is your test data. Okay, then we'll focus on the framework part, like the framework for front-end application. What are the standard code practice we should follow when we design the framework for automation, for front-end application and for back-end applications? Okay, we will see that. What are the things you keep in mind while estimate your task whenever you are doing any kind of testing, right? You need to give estimation, like I can complete this task in 6 days, 5 days. So what are the things we need to keep in mind while estimating the task? Okay, so this is a quick recap of yesterday's session, and now we start with the today's session. Okay, so let me open the PPT. Okay, okay. So today, Talash, I think we are good to start, right? We can
Yes.
start now.
Yeah. We'll start.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the software. Okay, this is a very basic. Okay, now what is software? Okay, you I guess you all are working on the computers, right? And you need, you know you install some kind of softwares, like you are working on MS Office, Microsoft Office has different applications like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Access, right? Some of you might play video games. Some of you might watch the movies online, or downloaded movies or on some OTT platforms, right? So all these things you are working inside the computer. Okay, we will gonna talk about on that. Okay, okay, so let's get started. Okay, we'll see first what is software. In a simple word, software is nothing but it a instruction. Okay, Let's say I just want to open Microsoft Office. Okay. So what I will do, I will go to the, this start menu, and then I'll open Microsoft Office. Okay. So I'm giving instruction to the computer that perform this action, open the Microsoft Office. So I go to the start menu, I click on the Microsoft Office icon, let's say Word, Excel, and then it gets open. Okay. So software is nothing, but it is a set of instructions. Okay. Set of instructions, set of data, programs used to operate computer and execute specific tasks. Okay. So in simple words, software is a set of instructions which computer will perform. Simple. Okay. Now, so software basically it is the opposite of hardware. So there are two main components in your system. One is your software, one is your hardware. Okay. So when we talk about hardware, so hardware is like a motherboard, which is heart of your computer. Your memory, that is called RAM. Yeah? That is your hardware. Okay. Your hard disk that store your data in the computer, that is hardware. So these all are part of hardware. Okay. So I can, like, in one word, I can see inside your computer what you can see, right? What you can feel. Okay. That physically exists, that is called hardware. So your hard disk, your memory, your keyboard, okay, your motherboard. So these are all hardware. Okay. So basically software is the opposite of hardware. Okay. Hardware basically, yeah. So basically this is the opposite of hardware, and software describe the aspects of a physical aspects of a computer. Without software, your computer's hardware will not work. Okay. Let's say what is a function of your memory. Random, I'm talking about the RAM, random access memory. Okay. So basically that RAM, what it does, it will, process your data. Okay. It will fetch the data from your hard disk to your RAM, and then it execute. Okay. So whatever operations you are doing, okay, that will be stored, that will be stored in the RAM, and then from RAM, CPU takes the data and then it process. This is how it works. Okay. So if you want to, let's say any hardware, if you want to, um, this your motherboard, your hard disk, and if it should work, if it works in the computer, for that we need programs. Okay. I give you one simple example of hardware and software. You know, in a signal,
Um,
you might have seen that the red
Atul,
light, green light.
Atul.
Hello.
Yeah, Atul, sorry for the interruption. If any of our participants might have question, then please raise your hand, right? And then Atul will promote you to the panelist, and then you will be able to unmute yourself and ask your question. So don't worry about that. If any one of you are willing to speak up and talk, we will allow it from here onward. Yeah, thank
Yes.
you.
Okay. So one simple example of software and hardware. Okay. You might have seen that green light, red light, yellow light in the signal, right? And for that, switching between these lights, we have 30 seconds or 60 seconds, right? They are automatically controlling, right? So first we need to install hardware there. There's a one called microcontroller, you know. So in the micro, with the help of microcontroller, we will apply the LEDs, or we will apply the lights, like we apply the red LEDs, green LEDs, yellow LEDs. Okay. And these LEDs will switch after 30 seconds. For that, we will program on that hardware. Okay. So without software, your hardware is nothing. Okay. Now software basically it's a generic term which we use to refer, you know, to application. Okay, so software can be anything. It is we for for an application we can call it software. If I have written some scripts, okay, let's say I have written some 3 or 4 line of statement of, okay, or piece of code, that is also we call software. Or any programs that runs on a device. Okay, so any application, any scripts or any programs that run on a device, that is called software. Okay, team, please let me know if I'm moving fast. Okay, and please let me know if my voice is not clear, or it is breaking, or my voice is low. Okay, now we'll see the types of software. We have seen the software. What is software? Software is nothing but it's a set of instruction. Now what is types of software? So basically there are two main categories of software. Okay, one is your application software. Okay, and second is your system software. So the name defines everything. Okay, when I say the system software means software that is related to system. When I say system, it means my computer, okay, or my device. Okay, now device can be anything. Device can be my computer, device can be my mobile, device can be my tab, device can be my iPad. Okay, so the software that runs for a system, okay, that is called system software. Application software, application software is, intended to develop for to perform certain tasks. Okay, let's say I want to perform summation of two numbers.
Uh,
Okay,
so there was
for
one
that,
suggestion from our participants that if we our this voice is a little bit lower, if we can keep it a little bit uh, higher, or that the voice is coming a little bit low.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
so thus just let me know if you hearing my voice low. Okay, just let me know.
sure, sure, we will.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we were talking about the application software. Now let's say I want to do summation of two numbers. Okay, so for that two numbers, what we have calculator in our system, right? So what is calculator? It's system software or application software? That is application software, because calculator has their limitations. It can perform the calculations. Okay, so calculator is designed to perform the calculation only. Okay, and that calculation is specific task to user. So this is called application software. Okay, so here the same thing, an application is software that fulfills a specific need of perform task. Okay, and system software is designed to run a computer's hardware and provides a platform for application to run on top of. Okay, so basically system software is a platform. Okay, on top of that we install application software. So operating system. Okay, uh, let me see. Okay, so operating system is a very good example of system software. Whenever you purchase computer, what you do first, we install operating system. Okay, so operating system, like we install Mac OS, we install Solaris, we install Windows, right? We have different operating systems. So that operating systems basically is a system software that runs on a computer. Okay, so that it can so that you can run all the you can perform all the other tasks. You can install your programming languages, you can install your automation tools, you can install some basic tools. Okay, but that is the first thing which we will do when we purchase a laptop or purchase a computer, right? So operating system is a very good example of system software. Okay, application software. So application software, let's say Microsoft Office, right? So Microsoft Office is the example of an application software. Then calculator. Calculator is an example of application software.
At all,
Okay.
your voice goes up and then it slows down. If you can keep it at a one pace sort of stuff, then we will all be able to hear it well with
Oh,
the yeah,
okay.
yeah, with the with the energy. Yeah.
Okay, okay, sure. So I'm not sure, might be some, bandwidth issue because of that, because
No, it's coming
my
very
frequency.
clear. It's coming very
Okay,
clear, but it slows down. I think
okay,
there is need of a glass of coffee or maybe a Red Bull. That's it.
okay, 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 fine. Okay, so you might have heard about the motherboard, right? To run that motherboard, we need some kind of software. Then only it will work. We have different components on the motherboard, right? We have RAM, we have different ICs, right, on the motherboard. So to perform, you know, uh, to make them work, we need software, and that software is called system software. So we have other type of software as well, like programming software, where I can write the programs. So you have heard about the Java, Python, C Sharp, right? So all these are programming software where we can write the program, develop the code, you know. Okay. So basically the other type of software includes programming software, which provides the programming tools software developers need, middleware, which sits between system software and application, and driver software, which operate computer devices and peripherals. Okay. So we talked about the application software. Now we talked about the device driver software. Okay. Whenever you install, uh, okay, so whenever you plug USB drive in your system, right? You might have seen that in the bottom right corner, there's a one program running, that is installing device software, installing driver software, right? So what it is doing, it is installing some kind of program in your system so that your system can recognize the USB drive and you would be able to open it in the system. Okay, so that is called driver software. Okay, if you want to listen anything in your system, you need to install one audio driver. Okay, one audio program. Okay, so that is called driver software. Okay, this is coming inside the driver software. So basically, driver software is nothing which operates your computer devices and the peripherals. Okay, programming software, I told you we have like Java. Okay, so to write the program on Java, what I need one environment where I can read, I can write that statement. Okay, Java statement. So for that we have Eclipse. I'm not sure whether you might have heard about it or not, but we have Eclipse. So Eclipse provides an environment where you can write your Java code. Okay, when we talk about the Python, for Python we have PyCharm. PyCharm is an IDE, or it's provides an environment where you can write your Python programs. Okay. In the similar way, we have C Sharp. Okay. So for C Sharp, we have Visual Studio. Okay. So Visual Studio provides an environment where you can write your program with the help of C Sharp. Okay. So these are some of the examples of programming software. Okay. Visual Studio, Eclipse, NetBeans, PyCharm. Okay. These are the examples of programming software. Application software, Microsoft Office, Zoom, Teams, okay, calculators. These are the example of application software. Okay. System software, operating systems. Operating systems, BIOS. Okay. These are the example of system software. And driver software, like, these are the small programs which, runs your drivers. Okay, guys, just give me a minute. Okay, okay, guys, you just put your questions in the question and answers, and after some time, I'll take all the questions and an answer. Okay, okay. So this is the kind one. This is a kind of history of software. Early software was written for specific computers and sold with the hardware it ran on. In the 1980s, software began to be sold on floppy disk and later on CD, DVDs. Okay, so this is telling us how the technology is, progressing in a very fast way. Where earlier we have floppy disk. Okay, so floppy disk basically, the size of floppy disk is around 2 MB or 3 MB. Right now we have hard disk in a system that is around 1 TB, right? 1 TB. So in the 1980s, we have at that time we have a very very big hard disk. Right now we have the size of the hard disk is very small. Okay, but when this computer started, okay, at that time we have the very big hard disk, kind of your Almira. Okay, the size that is equal to size of your Almira. Okay, or more than that. Okay, so basically software was sold on floppy disk. Floppy disk is nothing but it's a kind of a rectangular plate. Okay, a rectangular plate, and the size of floppy disk is 3 MB. So you can store the data in that floppy disk that is equal to not more than 3 MB, only 3 MB, right? And then we then the CDs and DVDs, right? So we install the softwares in the CD, and we like we get the CDs where we have the driver software, we have the system software, application software. Let's say you want to install and you want to install antivirus in your system. So for that we have McAfee. We get one CD where we have McAfee, or we have Avast antivirus. Okay, today most software is purchased and directly downloaded over the internet, so everything we can get on the internet. Okay, there's nothing which we cannot get on the internet. If you want to install operating system, you will get the image on the internet. You will get all the softwares, you will get all the driver softwares on the internet. Okay, okay, now we will talk about the examples and types of software. Okay, okay, so these are the common type of softwares. Okay, like the application software. Okay, system software. Then we have driver software, right? Middleware and programming software. So we'll talk about in detail what is system software, what is application software, what is driver software. Okay.
Before we move in to the types of software, there is one question uh, from from one of our attendees saying that is Visual Studio programming software?
Yes, yes. Visual Studio. So Visual Studio is an IDE, okay, that you need to install to run to run your code. Yes, so Visual Studio is a software.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So here one question, Mahanaz asked that what is Java?
Okay. So Java is a programming language. Okay. So Java is nothing but it's a programming language.
So
Okay.
whatever
Basically,
software applications you see,
yes. See, whenever you you design any software, you need some technology, you need, so what is software? Software is a set of statement or set of instruction or piece of code. Okay, you write some piece of code that will instruct your system that it will behave in this way. Okay, so for that you write your programs in, with the help of Java, or with the help of Python, or with the help of C sharp, or with the help of any programming language. Okay, so Java is nothing but it's a programming language, and that is high level class based object oriented programming language. Okay, so when we talk about when we go into the phase 2 journey, we will learn Java. Okay, you might have seen that there are a lot of softwares that runs on Java platform, right? It means they are developed with the help of Java programming language. Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Can you repeat about the CI/CD? Please let me know what it is used for. Just a brief answer because this is still at a very early
Yes, yes.
to understand.
So CI/CD is nothing but it's a process. We call it a process, continuous integration, continuous deployment. So basically, your software is designing in a different components. Okay, we cannot we cannot develop a software in one go. Okay, so we divide the components, we divide the modules. So in a, let's say, my Facebook. Okay, so Facebook is a kind of software for me. Okay, that runs on a server. Okay, and there we have different components. We have login, we have registration, we have posting of pictures, uploading pictures. So these are the different functionalities, and these are the different functionalities belong to different modules. One is the login module, one is your registration module. So login module is developing by some teams, registration module is developing by some other teams. Okay, so they are doing their work. Once they finish their work, they will deploy their code in the prod environment that will be visible to the real-time users. Okay, so basically,
I think
continuous
that's
integration.
enough. That will
Yeah,
be enough because as we go very deep, it will be hard for them to understand. There
right.
was one
Yes.
more question from Sophie Zada saying that a software built with a programming language. Yeah, yeah. Basically, let's take it very simple. When we speak with you, right? Uh, so we understand each other right now. We use this English language. For computers, there are languages through which they communicate, right? Those are called their languages. For instance, Java, Python, JavaScript. These are languages. We speak Pashto and Dari in order to communicate, right? And do stuff. Same applies to these programming languages in the software development world. And the other question is there, what's the difference between software and application? If you would like to answer it, good. If it's in the early stage, we can pause the question at all.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So now we were talking about the types and example of software. Okay. So for we have talked about the application software, the system software, driver software, middleware, and programming software. Okay. So I have given you example of this application software. Okay. Like the most common type of software, application software, is a computer software package that perform a specific function for a user, or in some cases for another application. Okay. So I give you the example of application software. It is Office suites, okay, graphics software, database management programs, okay, web browsers, your Chrome browsers, Firefox, word processors, okay, image editors software like Adobe Photoshop or Paint. So these all are your application software. Okay. When it comes to system software, so system software is like operating systems, your different firmware, computer language translator, and the system utilities. Okay, so these are the example of your system software. Okay, now the third is the driver software. Okay, so driver software also we talked about. We have seen like when you plug the USB drive in the system, okay, your computer should recognize that device, that what is that, right, and how it behaves. So basically for this, computer needs some kind of programs. Okay, so for that it install one software, okay, for USB drive, and with the help of that software it understand that this device will behave in this way, so that you can see all the files in your my computer, and then you can copy or you can paste in your drive. Okay, now we talk about the middleware. Okay, so this is very important, middleware. Okay, basically middleware is a term that used between the application and system software. Okay, I'm not going into deep what is a middleware. Okay, just understand it is kind of you know a layer that stands between your application and system software. Okay, whenever you purchase a computer, okay, first you install operating system. You don't install application software because application software runs on top of system software. So first you install system software, and then you install application software, right? So in between application and system software your middleware stands. Okay. Okay, now how I can give the example of middleware. So suppose middleware enables Microsoft Windows to talk to Excel. Okay, how this Microsoft Windows understand how I can communicate to Excel, or how I can communicate to Word, how I can communicate to PowerPoint. Okay, so middleware is okay. Basically, middleware helps so that operating systems and application softwares can talk. Okay, so what then programming software. So programming softwares. Okay, so we have seen that if you want to write Java, okay, then we use Java programming language. We use Visual Studio. Visual Studio. We use NetBeans to write a Java. We use PyCharm to write a Python programs. Okay, so these are nothing but it's a programming software. Okay, basically it understands the Java language. It understands the Python language. Okay, because computer cannot understand all type of language. Computer can understand only the one and only the machine language, which is in the form of binary. Okay, like I understand English language, right? You understand some other language, so computer understand only one and only machine language, and that is in the form of binary, 0 and 1. Okay, even if you write some program with the help of Java, with the help of Python, okay, that will be converted in the machine language, and then it executes your program. Okay, it will not directly execute whatever you have written in the system. Even if in the word, if you write something, okay, let's say you are right, this is my second session. Okay, so that statement will be converted in the machine language. When I say machine language, in the form of 0 and 1, we cannot understand the machine language. Okay, only the system can understand the machine language. Okay, okay, so we talked about these different types of softwares. Okay, this is the layers of softwares. Okay, in a graphical way, if I want to understand where each type of software stands, okay, so I can see that here. So hardware is the first layer, okay, which is inside my computer. When I say hardware, it means motherboard, RAM, hard disk. These are all the hardware. Okay. When I purchase computer, I have all these devices in my system, right? I have the motherboard, I have this keyboard, I have the mouse, I have the RAM, I have the hard disk. All these are hardware. So the first layer will be your hardware. Okay. The second one is your BIOS. Okay. So BIOS is also one kind of software, system software that you know understand that runs basically that are using your hardware, okay, so that your hardware can work properly. So we are not going to deep into the BIOS, okay, just understand that this is a type of system software. Okay, so first layer hardware, second layer firmware, nothing but a system software. Hypervisor, it's a optional, okay. Hypervisor nothing but it's a kind of
Uh,
virtual machine,
Atul,
okay.
first
Yeah.
of all, when we are talking about the layers of software, what do we mean by it? Uh, what do we mean by layers of software?
Okay, so layers of software basically, okay, let's say you want to you want to work on Microsoft Office in your system, okay. So what you do, what is the process, right? First, for that to work Microsoft Office, what do you need? You need some kind of operating system, first of all, in your system, right? Then on top of that, you will install your application software, right? So layers of software is nothing but, you know, it's a process, you know, where application software has to pass through. Okay. If you want to, perform some kind of operations on your system, let's say you want to open the calculators, okay, and you want to perform some operations. So it has to pass through some layers of software. Okay. When I say some layers of software means the necessity or the things required to run that software. Okay. So that is the layers of software. Now, to run the application software, what I need? I need system software. So this is my one layer. Now, to run the system software, what I need? I need hardware. That is my second layer. Okay. So layer is nothing but it's a stages, we can say. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I can follow.
yeah. So the first layer is hardware. Second one is BIOS. Okay. So BIOS is nothing but it's a program. Okay. That control your hardwares, that control your motherboard settings. Okay, so BIOS is nothing but it's a system software that controls your motherboard settings. When I say motherboard settings, it means how many USB ports you have, how many HDMI ports you have, right? So these all are the settings, you know, which are defined on the top of motherboard. Okay, and these all are settings will be controlled by a program that is called BIOS. Basic input output systems. The full form of BIOS is basic input output system. Okay. Then the third layer is hypervisor. Hypervisor is nothing but so basically it comes into the picture when you install your operating systems. Okay. So hypervisor is nothing but it's a virtual machine. Okay. If you want to install your operating system on the physical devices, okay, on your computer, that is fine. If you do not want to install on these computer devices, what we can do, we can create some kind of virtual machine, okay, which physically doesn't exist but logically exists. When I say physically doesn't exist, you cannot see it. When I say logically exists, it means it creates with the help of some programs. Okay, so hypervisor is nothing but it's a virtual machine, so this is optional. Okay, you want to install it or you don't want to install it. Then on top of that, on top of BIOS, we have OS drivers and runtime. Okay, So we need environment that will run your operating system programs. Okay. So operating system has their own set of code. Okay. Let's say you want to click on you want to click on Microsoft Office with the help of mouse. So how your operating system understand that I want to open that application, right? So that is coming in the OS services and OS drivers, OS runtimes. Okay. So OS services, OS drivers, these are the layers of operating systems. These are also one type of layer of software. Then we have the OS UI. So OS UI, what is when you log into your system, you can see welcome and your name. You can see Control Alt Delete, right? So that is called OS UI. Okay, that is your operating system user interface. User interface. What is user interface? What you can see, look and feel. What you look and feel, that is called user interface. So let's say your system get locked, and you want to unlock it. How you unlock it? You press Control Alt Delete, right? And then you write your password and then it unlock. Okay. So the place where you are writing your password, okay, that is called operating system user interface, because that user interface is provided by the operating systems. Okay, that is called OS UI. Okay, then called is
Uh,
middleware.
Atif asked that what OS is, operating system.
Yes, operating systems. To run, to operate your systems, you need some kind of software, right? So we have different type of operating systems. We have Windows. Okay, so Windows has a different user interface. Right now, what system I'm using, that is a part of Windows. Okay, you have heard about Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows Vista, right? Windows 8. So Windows is nothing but basically Windows is nothing but it's a program that run your system. Without Windows you cannot perform anything, because sorry, without operating system you cannot perform anything, because operating system fills the gap between the hardware and your system. It understands the hardware. Okay, so what it does, it will fetch, let's say you are using hard disk. Okay, and your data is stored in the hard disk, right? When you open the Microsoft Word and you open the existing file, right? So what it does, it will go to the hard disk, it will fetch that file from that location, and then you can see the content on the Word file. Okay, so that is called, so with the help of operating system we can do that. If we do not have operating systems, right, who tells the computer that my file is kept in this location and you need to fetch that file from that location and display on this Microsoft Word. Okay, so for that we need operating systems. So this is the one example of operating system services. Okay, there are a lot of things which operating system does. Okay, so operating system is nothing but to work between your what I say, in a simple word, in a hardware and our application we need operating systems. Okay, then we have a middleware. Okay, so for middleware basically it acts as a intermediator between the two entities. Okay, let's say I'm using Facebook. Okay, and I want to log into the system. Okay, I want to log into the Facebook application. For that, Facebook basically it's a front end application. So when I say front end, just understand that I can see that application. Okay, I can look and feel that application, so that is called front end application. I will
Colin,
enter the
if we
email
can
ID.
jump in, like, we if it's possible and feasible, let's exemplify it in a way. We go into, for instance, Facebook, or when we are opening Word, right? That will be more visible. For instance, when we open a file, it provides actually the location of the file and stuff. It runs it. So it's very clear that operating system provides us with the information that where this file is and how, from where we are running it, right? I think that would be a little bit more uh, clear for our participants. Thank you.
Yes, sure. Okay. Okay, so let me. Okay, I'm just looking for one file which I can open. Got it. Okay. Okay. Suppose this is the Microsoft Word I have in my system. Okay. Now I want to open one existing file. Okay. So I click on this open. It will give me this dialog box. Okay. And then I'll select this file, Airtel file, right? And then I click on open. So this open this Airtel file. Now, how this application, can go to their particular location, okay, and open the file. For that, we need operating systems. Okay. So basically we click on the open and then we click on this. So basically when we click on the open, we can see all the locations here. Okay. So with the help of operating systems, it allow us to see all the locations inside our computer. Okay. And then we can open that file. Okay. So this process opening the file, okay, we can do that with the help of operating system services. Okay. Now we will talk about this Facebook application, right? Okay, so this Facebook we talk about this. Yeah, we 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 were talking about the middleware. Okay, so suppose I want to create a new account. Okay, and I need to enter some information, give some mobile number and the password. Okay, the moment I click on sign up, this information should store somewhere, right? So that when I log in the next session or when I log in second time, okay, it will fetch all this detail, right? So where it will store all this data like the first name, last name, mobile number, email ID. So this will store the data in the database. Okay, database is also a example of application software. Okay, we have different database. Okay, I give you some examples like SQL Server, MySQL, okay, MongoDB. So these are some of the examples of your database. Okay, so when I click on the sign up, this information should store in the database. Okay, now how this data will be transferred to the database? Okay, so between this application like and the database, okay, we have some certain programs that comes inside the middleware which transfer the data from this page to your database. When I say database, database is a place where this data will be stored. Okay. So I'll explain you in a very quick way. Okay. Suppose This is my Facebook application, and this is my database. Okay. So I'm writing the first name, John. This is my last name. This is my mobile number. Okay. So this information, this is what? This is my Facebook application. Okay. And this is the database. Database is nothing but it's where it store the data. Okay. So whatever I'm, entering the information in the on the Facebook application, that will be stored in the database. So same info we can store here. Okay. Now, how data is transferring from this Facebook application to this database? So with the help of middleware. Okay. So this is the middleware. This is the middleware program. With the help of middleware program, okay, we can transfer the data between this application Facebook to this database. Okay. Now, when I log into the second time, okay, so let's say now I'm logging to the Facebook application. Okay, I'm logging to the Facebook application. So this data, okay, let's say it is asking for email ID and the password, right? So this data will be fetched from database to this application, and it will verify whether the email ID you have entered is correct or not. Okay. Okay. Talas, I think we can take the question and answers now.
Yes,
Hello.
I think those were the questions that I was keep explaining. So we don't have any question for now.
Okay.
You're all good, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Uh, just give me a minute. I'm just facing one issue. Yeah. Okay. So we talked about the layers of software. Okay. Okay. Now we will understand the difference between system software and the application software. Okay. So system software, what is system software? What? So basically general purpose software that manages basic system resources and processes. Okay. So when I say system resources, it means it manage the CPU utilization, it manage the your random access memory, RAM. Okay. These are your system resources. Okay. So the software that manage your basic system resources and the processes, that is comes under the system software. What is application software? That perform specific tasks like your calculators, PowerPoint, Word, right? These are your application software. System software basically written in that low level assembly language or machine code. Okay. So I told you what is machine code. Machine code is nothing but it's kind of a language that can be understood by computer. Computer can understand only the machine language. Machine language in the form of binary, in the form of 0 and 1. Okay. Whatever you have whatever you are writing in your computer, whatever actions you are performing on your computer, that is converting in the form of 0 and 1. Okay. And that 0 and 1 will understand by the computer, and then it performs action accordingly. So that is called low level language or machine language. Okay. Application software written in the high level language such as Python, JavaScript. So we talked about this programming language, right? We talked about the Java, we talked about Python. So your application software written in your high level language. Okay. So there are different type of programming language starting from the C++, then Java, Python. We will see what is the difference between C++, Java, and Python. Why, what is the importance of different these programming languages. The third point is that it must meet specific hardware needs, interacts closely with hardware. Okay, so system software we utilize to operate hardware correctly. If my hard disk is working or not, my mouse is working or not, right? To operate the mouse, I need a system software. Okay, so basically that system software interacts closely with the hardware. Okay, and application software does not have not it's have nothing to do with the hardware. Okay, so basically application software does not interact with hardware. Okay, and even if it wants to interact with the hardware, so with the help of operating system services it can interact, but directly it cannot interact with the hardware, just like system software does. Okay, when we install a system software, okay, so basically system software install at the same time. Okay, when your OS install, we don't need to explicitly install system software. It is coming inside your operating system package. Okay, so when you install your operating system, okay, at the same time your system software will be installed, right? And how we install the application software? Whenever we need, right? If I want to, if I want to install Microsoft Office, I can install it. If I don't want it, I cannot install it. Okay, so this is the flexibility I have for application software, but I do not have that flexibility for system software because that is coming within the operating systems only. Okay, you want to install PowerPoint, you want to install Chrome browser, you want to install Zoom, you want to install Teams. Okay, these all are application software, and all these application software you can install at your own choice. Okay, now user cannot control the system softwares. Okay, that system softwares will be automatically controlled. Okay, so it will run when it has to run. Okay, and system software basically operating by the hardware. So when hardware needs something, okay, hardware wants to perform some kind of operations, okay, at that moment system software runs. So users cannot run or cannot control the system softwares. They work they work automatically whenever they want to work, okay, or whenever they have to work. Okay, application software, so we give the instruction to application software that you need to open it, or you need to open that file, or you need to close it, or you need to perform certain kind of operations. Okay, so application software, user can control, user can install, user can uninstall these application software. Works in the background and user don't usually access it. Yes, so basically this system software works in the background. Okay, we cannot see the system software just like we open the Chrome browser, right? We can see the Chrome browser. So likewise we cannot see the system software because that runs in the backend. Okay, that is not visible to the users, and application software runs in the foreground, so that can be visible by the users. If I'm working on this Edge browser, you can see this Edge browser, right? System software is run independently. Okay, They don't need any involvement. They run independently. While application software are depend on the system software. If we do not have system software properly, your application software will not work. Okay. So I'm not sure, you might have seen that whenever you want to install some software, let's say you are installing database, you are installing some other software. Okay, you face some kind of error message or you face some difficulty, not able to install because of this error, because of this error, like this, right? So these errors comes because your system software is not working properly or your system software is not installed. Okay, system software is necessary for the system to function, is not needed for system to function. Okay, now I'll show you how we can see the system software and how we can see the application software.
Yeah,
Okay,
before we jump into another uh, discussion, I told Amir had a question saying that do we code in one and zeros when we are coding or what?
we don't code in one and zeros. We code in the programming language that we can understand. Okay, like with the help of Java, with the help of Python, C sharp, because we don't understand 0 1, so we cannot write the code in the form of 0 and 1, right? So we have different translators, we have compilers. Okay, so basically what it does, it will convert your programs in the machine level language, in the machine language, and then machine will run that program. Okay, so for that we have different softwares. When we program in the Java, okay, we will write. Hello.
Yeah, I told you can continue.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so I was saying that when we write the program, when we start our phase two journey, when we write the programs in the Java or in some programming language, we will use the syntax of the Java programming language, and compiler. Compiler is nothing but it's a kind of one program. Okay, so understand this compiler will convert whatever you have written in the form of 0 and 1. Okay, so we don't write the program in the form of 0 and 1. Okay, so I hope you can see the task manager, right? In the task manager, I have opened this process. I have this process tab. Okay. So you can see apps. These are the application softwares. These all are the application softwares. Eclipse, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Microsoft Teams, Notepad, Paint, Photos, Task Manager, right? These all are application softwares. Okay. These are the background processes. Okay. So you can see else pointing device driver. So these all processes are running on the background side. We cannot see this process, but this is running. Okay. So basically, this is an example of your driver software. Okay. This is an example of your driver software. Likewise, we have system software. Okay. This runtime broker, this runtime broker. Okay. These are example of your system software. Now we have this Realtek HD Audio Universal. Basically, this is a program that enables audio in your system. So this is the example of your driver software. If I don't have this software, okay, I cannot listen the voice, or someone else cannot listen my voice when I speak. Okay, so I need this device software or driver software for to function the audio system. Okay, okay, Windows driver foundation. These are the example of your system software. I don't start these processes. This will be automatically started when you run your system. Okay, so the moment you start your operating system, you okay, these processes, these system software will be start automatically. Okay, these are the window processes. Okay, console window host. So these are the process, these are also part of system software, and all these process are running by the windows. So windows is, what is windows? Windows is nothing but it's a kind of operating systems. Okay, so all these process are system software. Okay, see, these are not visible to the end users, or these are not visible to me or you, but these are all processes are running. Okay, so now we talk about design and implementation, right? We talked much about the software. What is software? Types of software, examples of software, different type of softwares like your system, application, driver, programming, right? Now, how these softwares are designed? Okay, there must be some process. With the help of that process, these softwares are designed, right? So that process, that process is called software development life cycle. Okay, if you are developing some software, okay, it has to pass through some sort of process, right? If I ask you, then you know upload a picture in the Facebook application. This is one of your tasks, right? Upload a picture in the Facebook application. What do you do? First, you need an account, right? If you do not have account, what do you will do? You will create a new account. If you have account, you will use your existing email ID and the password, and then you first log into the Facebook application. Then you go to your my profile and then upload a picture, right? So this is the process you follow to upload a picture, right? In the same way, when we develop a software, okay, when we work on the software, there are certain process which need to be followed, because software contains a large piece of code. It does not have like 300 or 400 lines of code. It has millions lines of code, right? So that millions lines of code will be structured in a proper manner, right? If there's any issue in the software, that will be fixed quickly, and in that way that it should not impact the other modules, right? It should not impact the other functionality. Okay, let's say I'm facing difficulty in login to the Facebook application. Okay, so I fixed that issue. Now, earlier this registration functionality working fine, but now after fixing that login issue, this registration is not working. So it should not happen. Okay, that I'm fixing one issue, and due to that another issue will be created. Okay, so basically what I want to say, whenever we design a software, we have to follow certain kind of process. Okay, so there's a term called software development life cycle. Okay, so we have to go through software development life cycle. In software development life cycle, we have different stages. Okay, so that we're gonna cover in the tomorrow session. What is software development life cycle? What is the different stages in the software? Okay, and how we can use it. Okay, so from this design and implementation, we'll be resuming tomorrow. And now we are open up the questions, and whoever wants to talk or whoever wants me to repeat some topic, so I'm open to that. Talash, over to you.
Yes, thank you. So anyone has any question to ask, you can assign me back as a host. So I will enable our participants to speak up if they have questions directly. Um, Am I the host?
Let me make you the host.
Okay. So please raise your hand, whomever has a question, then I will promote you to panelist, and then you will be able to ask your question. I'm looking in if anyone wants to raise his hand and, if you have any question. Question? Yeah, so I think there is nothing so far. In order to a little bit, make it clear with regard to the system softwares, I'm sharing a short video which we can take a look into it for 2 or 3 minutes, and then we will go on and ask any question that might be there. Okay. Okay. Let's make it a little bit more interactive for each other. So things will be, 1 second, and here we go. You guys can hear it, right?
Talas can't hear the audio.
Yes, I don't know why they are not able to hear it. Okay, let
Yeah.
me check here.
So I tell you the reason. Whenever you share your screen, what you need to do, there is one option, share system sound. You need to enable that, and after that we can hear the sound in the Zoom only. In the Zoom, there's whenever you share a screen, there's one option. Yeah.
Let's give it a try now.
Computer software is a set of instruction that guides the computer hardware, and tell the hardware what to do, when to do, and how to do a task. Software gives life to the computer. Without software, the computer is a dead machine. Computer software is divided into application software and system software. Application software. Application software are programs that help the user perform specific tasks. Word processing software like MS Word, WordPad, and Notepad are used to create documents such as letters, reports, etc. Database software like Oracle, MS Access are to store data and perform some operations on the data. Spreadsheet software like Microsoft Excel are used to organize data in rows and columns, perform calculations, and present data in charts and graphs. Presentation software like Microsoft PowerPoint is used to display information in the form of slides. Internet browsers like Google Chrome, Firefox, and Safari are used to access the Internet. System software. System software is a set of program that controls the computer hardware. The system software is the platform for running the application software. System software are operating system and utility software. Operating system. Operating system is a software that acts as an interface between the user and the computer system. Operating systems for desktop and laptop computer are Microsoft Windows, Linux, Mac OS. Microsoft Windows is a very popular operating system created by Microsoft. The founder of Microsoft is Bill Gates. There are different versions of Microsoft Windows. Mac OS is an operating system created by Apple. The founder of Apple is Steve Jobs, and Steve Wozniak. Mac OS can run on all Macintosh computers. Linux is a free operating system that can be downloaded from the Internet. It was developed by Linus Torvalds. Operating systems for mobile devices are Android and Apple iOS. Android is the most common mobile operating system used for mobile phone and tablets. iOS is used on iPhone and iPad. Utility software. Utility software is a software used to analyze, configure, optimize and maintain the computer.
Yeah, if you want to elaborate a little bit on this at all with the utility softwares. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So you want me to
Yeah, just
tell
simplify
more
it.
about the utility?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, let's listen to the recording and then let's proceed.
Utility software is
Sure.
a software used to analyze, configure, optimize and maintain the computer. Example of utility software are antivirus software, backup software, disk compression tool, file manager. Now, let's see the summary of what we have learned. Computer software is a set of instruction that guides the computer hardware. Computer software is divided into application software and system software. Application software are programs that help the user perform specific tasks. System software is a set of program that controls the computer hardware. System software provides the platform for running the application software. System software are divided into operating system software and utility software. Question time. Drop the following in the correct circle. You have 15 seconds to complete.
Oh, what do you think, participants? Name the system softwares and application softwares quickly, if you can. I will look at the answers in the Q&A. Okay. Let me look at it. That's a quick. Yeah, that's a nice suggestion by Mr. Amirian. We will be using a marker or pen. We have a Zoom whiteboard as well where we can explain things, so no worries. Yeah, this video is also shared. Okay. Application software, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, good. And system software, please put few.